Senator Obama?
Yes.
Oh, good morning.
Good morning. Thank you for taking the time.
Good morning, guys. How have you been?
Doing well. My name is Kid Craddock. I'm the host of the show, and I'm joined by Big Al Mack.
What's up, my brother?
Okay.
How are you, Vic?
Already.
And Kelly, that was him, and Kelly Raspberry.
Hello, Mr. Senator.
And
Terry, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
And JC
Hola, señor.
Chavez.
We've spent the whole
JC,
morning.
how are you?
I'm doing good, sir.
We spent the whole morning trying, because we do a lot of fake presidential candidates and stuff,
Yeah.
trying to convince everyone this is the real thing. We're
Really
not
you.
faking this one.
Yeah.
We're a little nervous.
Well, I appreciate all you guys taking the time, and I'm going to be flying down to Texas from Ohio after the debate last night, and I got to admit I'm looking forward to some warmer weather because
Yeah.
we had, I think, a foot of snow up here.
You'll have that here. Senator, we are actually a syndicated show that has coverage all over the state of Ohio.
Including Ohio, yeah.
And all over the state of Texas. So this is
Among other ones,
this
yeah.
is a good opportunity. Yeah, we have many other states, but in
Yeah.
terms of what's coming up on March the 4th, this
Right.
is a good opportunity. Our Texas listeners want to know if you will increase taxes on companies involved in oil and gas. They say the Democrats have done that for years. Have you thought about that position?
Well, I have, and what I'll do is not raise taxes, but I will take away some of the tax breaks that have been going to the oil companies in particular. Look, ExxonMobil made $11 billion last year, last quarter.
Wow.
Sickening.
And that's the biggest profit that any company has ever made in U.S. history. And so they're getting a windfall from the very high oil prices we're seeing worldwide and high gas prices we're seeing at the pump. They just don't need some of the tax breaks that have been given over the last several years because they've got more than enough money to invest in the exploration and the drilling that they need.
Okay.
And we've also got to spend some time investing in things like wind and solar. Texas has been just a boom state when it comes to wind energy. And the more we can encourage those kinds of clean energies, not only are we going to be able to reduce our dependence on oil, which over time is going to save people money at the gas pump, but it's also going to help reverse climate change and global warming, which is a very serious issue right now.
Do you feel when you're in Texas that you can criticize our president less here because he is a native Texan?
No.
That's cool. I like that.
I try to be fair of my criticisms of the president. I try not to take cheap shots. There are, some major issues that are out there that we just haven't dealt with over the last 7 years. We've got a genuine health care crisis all across the country. I meet single moms who are trying to figure out how to get themselves health care or their kids health care all across the country. I'm meeting young people who can't afford to go to college. People are concerned about the state of the economy. The home foreclosure crisis is becoming a big problem for a lot of people who've seen their home values deteriorate, and in some cases they've got a bigger mortgage than their home is worth. So we've got a lot of serious problems, and I think this president has not managed the economy well, and I continue to believe, as I've believed from the start, that the war in Iraq was a bad idea. We're spending $12 billion a month in Iraq, money that we could be spending in the United States to not only deal with homeland security, but also building roads and bridges and putting people to college and providing health care for people. So I think his policies have not worked for the people of Texas any more than they've worked for people across the country, and we need to change it.
Speaking of that, they asked President Bush after his first 4 years, and this really resonated with me. They asked him what his biggest mistake was, and you recall this moment. He couldn't think of one. Can you tell us a moment in your career as a senator where you wish you had a do-over as a senator?
Yeah, well, actually, this came up last night.
It did.
One area where I regret not speaking up more forcefully was when, I don't know if you guys remember, a couple of years ago when the Terry Schiavo case came up.
Yes.
Yeah.
And Congress started meddling in it, and I was not really in favor of Congress getting involved because I thought it was a decision of the families, but there was what was called a unanimous consent agreement. Basically, everybody just went along with it.
Right.
In the Senate, nobody was on the floor, and I didn't speak out and stand up and say, you know what, this is a stupid thing for us to do. So sometimes what you regret is not so much what you did as what you didn't do.
As what you didn't do,
And I think that's a good example.
Well, with that in mind, do you have any opinion on the Congress and their involvement in like steroids and sports and stuff like that recently?
You know, I've got to admit that it's not how I would have Congress spend all its time.
Yeah,
You
right,
know,
right.
I mean, the truth of the matter is that steroids are a real problem, and I want to see, our sports figures and our sports teams really deal with this in a serious way. Partly because you're starting to see little kids, young kids,
High school
taking
kids.
steroids. So you're seeing a bad example there. But Congress has some very serious problems to deal with, and I'm not sure that having Roger Clemens testify for 2 hours is really
Yeah.
It's good,
Exactly.
it's good
Yeah.
entertainment, but maybe not more than that.